Give me a second. Okay, I must try and do this. Just give me a second. I'm not ready. I think. Just give me a second. So, very extremely strong. I'm looking for something right now. Man, I saved it. Did I save it? Oh yeah, I saved it here. Copy. Just hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay. Let me read to you what I wrote. This is just amazing. When it comes to numbers, this is amazing. The train tracks. Just give me a minute. I'm having trouble digesting supper. Yeah. Sorry, it's going to take me a little bit to get going. It's what I ate. And this is very powerful. Just going to put away a few things. Just give me a minute. See what it is. Just give me a minute. I think I might be having that. Okay. So what it is I'm going to have to change the subject. If they ever say, I'm going to have to come back, I think, and do this video after. Unless I wait 10 minutes. Want to take a 10-minute break? It's just me and you. Just going to put something up here for 10 minutes. Let's put this up here. 10 minutes. I'll let you know how I'm doing. So you know what? I'm gonna end the video, and I'm gonna come back because my son is coming over, and just say something. Is somebody here? I'm gonna just check who's here. Yeah, me too. Yeah, you know what it is? I'm having trouble because listen, DC on the dice, number 4 and 3. You have to understand if it's exactly the cube, it's been working out exactly the cube since I began. Okay. And since 2020, and I don't like to say it, but I didn't predict the year. I didn't predict the year at all. It came to me. What I liked, what I saw, that everything that was before me. And I just balanced it out in certain things that stood strong. I stood strong with it. It was my life. ABC, 1, 2, 3. Bingo. ABC times time, energy. Now, wait, there's a balance in that. If it's time, there's something between it. Time takes a period of now, and it goes to where? I don't know. We'll break it up between the sunrise and the sunset. Cut it into 24 hours. 3 times 120, 4 times 90. Both are 360. Why 3 and 4? Because between 3 and 4, there's only one hole. One. That great distance between 3 and 4 is 1. That means every other side in the dice has corridors in it. So when we come to the fine line of division, and since it's a 3 by 3 dice, I just have to just give a message to somebody. I just hope I don't. So when you take that halfway space and you know, I'm going to show you, you tell me different, that there's a set of 3 numbers here, set of 3 numbers here, 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 here. You know, you can see it. So I know that when I'm moving over in my numbers, I know there's 3 sets between one side and the other side. And by the way, where 46, whatever 46 creates, the reverse cube is 31, 1331, 11 times 11 times 11. Don't forget that, because that is the void on each side of the cube. That is Venus void. I believe she's 33, the rotation of what creates the rotation in the sun. So when you have between here and here, or is it between here and here area space? Sorry, here and here. Why do I say between here and here? Because even though this one's 4, in order to get from here to here, it takes a total of 4. And that in between is number 3. No, regardless to your 5, 1, 2. Anyways, so between 3 and 4, just to say there's one distance. And it shows me in that distance that it's broken up. There is a complete center on its own in that area. There's all kinds of centers in the area, but that's the only one between the 1/3 house and the 1/3 house. And in the center, the 1/3 house, that is part on the left and is part on the right. So that 1/3 house is not 1/3, but it is actually half of what it is. And when it becomes half where the O is, when it becomes half where the circle is, that O now becomes a D. That's now a D. The top of the cube and the bottom of the cube. That is who I is. That is your number. You then therefore are the pole of Mars. I'm not sure what that means, but I can tell you when you break down the center, anything that breaks down the center, okay, is going to be number 9. It's going to be area 5. Actually, it's 1, 5, and 9, those 3. It is Mars birth, and it becomes OD. Now, one of the questions is, why does it have to look like a circle? Where am I going to get my G from? Where does G come from? I'm not really sure yet. I'm not really sure because in one of my designs that I did here, I broke it up with a G. And the possibility you can break it up with a G is maybe because of what the numbers might do, the number shift. Meaning this area over here that I split is actually this area over here. This is only the fine line split. And since it's a fine line split, what number will you give it? 55, right? Will you give it 55 or will you give it 33? There's 30 this way and 30 this way, but the center pole is your meeting right over here on each other. So you're meeting at 33. Both threes are meeting at the same place. Or you're meeting at 55. The reality is the center over here, the complete area, okay, is 3.5 to the fine line dead center. Anyways, I don't want to get into that. I wanted to talk about what I wrote down. I want to talk about what I wrote down. I think I'm calm now. I think I can stay here. Okay. This is what I wrote down. There was a woman where they were taking away something from her that she had ever since it was very young, right? And in order to stop what's the tyranny that's going on around the world, in order to stop the tyranny that's going around the world, she inspired me to think. You see, the word woman is 66. It doesn't go anywhere without man because man on the moon and the moon is from Mars. The reverse numeric value of Mars is moon. The reverse alphabetical reverse letters is Heinz 57. When you write down the word Heinz, the skeleton of the word, if you take each letter out and expand the bookends that they are, then the H will come out to here. The I, when you put the H, you have to put a bar. Person goes to sleep, I went to sleep. So the I would be sleeping, I would cut the H in half. Or the I would be standing up. So it would be the bed at night, supported by the heavens, or standing up in between the heavens to the polarity from his head to his toes, in between the heavens, let loose. And then the polarities. When you cut it this way, you're the Z. When you cut it this way, that's the N. Look at the letter. I will go to the outside of the screen. I'll go up and I'll go all the way down to this corner and I'll go up and I got the N. But the reality is the N can be done. I'm not sure how many times we want to break up the flag, but I can do a lot of N's. N can be done in its own area. X can be done in its own area. I, they cap the I off. So I can say I divides two sides. So I is also used for me in Roman numerals as number one, something that divides things. Number one is a fine line division. So can you have a fine line division when the creation of the cube, is this? The 4 is on this side, the 3 is on this side. So in order to go through here, here is your fine line. Here is not a fine line, but this is your whole area space division, equal to the other two area spaces. By the way, there are 5 void and 6 void in this. I'm not going to tell you that 7, that 3, 7 is 65 and 3 is 56, equaling to 121 or 1111, and this is 11. This will create AD or ABCD, which will create J10 or 410, which is the greatest numbers on the cube. And once it creates the greatest numbers on the cube, Pythagorean count shows 4 and 1. We start all over again. And this is the greatest, and this is your communication. This is the 10-4. We have the CB number 32, 23, 32 if you want, which either way. And what it means, we have 5, 4, 4, 5. We have area space in the sun. We could have also gone 32, 23, which could have been 3, 4, 3. And that area space in the sun is CDC, Center for Delta Control. One of the wings has gotten loose. This situation will create 12 and 7 and 12 and 7 respectively on their side by doing this equation here and then doing this equation here. And then it ends up with this equation over here. So I have two separate equations, okay? And this equation is going to be 19, and this one is going to be 19, which when you bring them together, it's going to be 29, and there's a representation of this. When it becomes 29 to the Pythagorean count, it's now a reflective of number 14, in which your 5 and 6 will create 30 and 11 equaling to 41. It doesn't matter which way it is, whether it's on this side or that side, it doesn't matter. Same thing. This will end up saying 5 and 4, and then it's going to say 20 and 9, which is the IT. So if you want to take this towards computer language, do it. We are fleshy robotics with free will, and we know the difference. We know the difference, and we know the difference means if you know the truth and you know you can't save the children, you know that what is going on right now is a story that I'm not sure if it was written in the Bible, but I knew it already. I saw it. Big deal. Anybody else see it? If somebody can think it in a story or read it, and I saw it on TV, and it just made too much sense. All these numbers. Does anybody follow where we are with this? Let me just continue on with this over here, okay, besides what just happened, because it's 7 dots and 11 through your gateway. We were talking about the 3 levels. So what's going to happen is each one of these will become 1/3. This will take up an area of 1/3. This will take up an area of 1/3, and this will take up an area of 1/3. And all of this together will create the gap of 1. Will create that single gap between it. So this one in the center will have a value of 2, and the ones on each side will have a value of 1. The center holds arms to both sides. So you give it a value of both sides 2. And in reality, there's only one side that lives. It's either the one side that lives over the 2. Here's your 2 pillars if you wanted to look, but it's only going to be one side that's living. Anyways, I don't want to get into the design stuff. So this becomes 1/3. Now, where will I find 1/3? Can I find 1/3 somewhere? Well, when you have the 1, the 4, or the 7, if you multiply it by 3, it equals to 3, it equals to 12, it equals to 21. 1 plus 2 equals to 3. 1 plus 2 equals to 3. So now we have our 3, 3, 3. Now we're going to do it another way. We're going to take 1, 4, and 7, and we're going to divide it by 3, and it's going to be 0.333. It's going to be 0.1333, and it's going to equal 2.333. So this is what I know. So I know that this is singular. So knowing that this is singular, Okay. I also understand, and this is only reflective thinking. Okay. It's only reflective thinking. You can say different. The dice cube, okay, the dice cube has here's the six sides of the dice cube, and you go around the dice cube, and you hit four sides, and then you go up and down, and you hit uh, two sides. This is around, and call it the ring, and this can be two sides, and you can call this the pole, and they're both numeric value 48. And they both together, the ring and the pole, will equal to 96 plus 48 equals to 96. So you'll all be in agreement. So if I told you in math that 3 times 3 equals to 9 and 3 plus 3 equals to 6, you will also know that there's 6 sides to the cube, and on every side is a possible of 9 area dots. The total of the cube is 54. There are 21 dots, which equals to 6 times 3.5 being the center of the average of what the cube is, 3.5, 5, and 3. So know the heart. Know that when the ball spins in roulette and they pay you 35 to 1, know your math. It is the ball, it is the universe, it is creation. Creation from a very intelligent creator. I'm going to get something to drink. I'm going to come back. We're going to talk more about the cube. I'm feeling much, much better. Thank you. I wanted you to watch that video up there. Maybe we can play it. Let me see if I can play it. Just hold on a second. Let me see this over here. This one here. Can we play that? Can anybody just like go and play that? Anybody play that? Anybody here? Oh yeah. Okay. Let me see what's on. Let me see what's happening. This is, got to understand, man. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I wasn't feeling good before. You know what it is to feel good? You know what it is to feel free and let everybody else feel free? Not interfering in anybody else's life, and they croak and they drop that big deal. It's not my problem. As long as they don't, start doing it and disturbing the rest of society. These are the passing of the plagues. This is February 12th. 12 is a number that can be 2 to 1. It is the base of Venus. It is 246. It is 2468. And then on the other side, it is 12 and it is 14. And the reason I'm saying this is because when you see number 8, it's actually number 2. No, it's actually hold on a second, because this is confusing. It's actually, when you see number 8, you can almost say it's A. It's the invert of the 1 dot. It is the void within the 1 dot. So you would say it was the female A instead of the male A, being of the 6 light from 1. Do you follow what I'm saying? Because of the opposites on the dice, how do we understand them? And they attract, and they're also apart. Anyways, we were talking about, let me get a drink. I'm going to come back. Okay, and my son's coming over, so I'm going to have to stop the video and come back and finish it after. But just let me get a drink of something. And you know what? Even when I leave it, it's just going to be like maybe for an hour. So, what happens between 3 and 4 is not like everywhere else. Everywhere else gets a different number, because when 1 goes all the way over to 6, it's, although the center is still 3.5, is it 3.5 on a fine line? Yes, it is. Going over from right to left is by one. Going up and down is 3. So your whole cube is about 1 and 3. Now, if you're going on these angles, now we have to get into French. And I need to understand, I have to write down the word, I think it's aigu and grave. And those are, I need to look at this right away. French accents. French accents over E. Okay, the accent is, okay, I'm just going to, okay, so the accent over here is aigu, aigu, and the other one is acute accent with accent maybe aigu or simply pronounced A. The accent changes vowels to B. Hold on, there's something missing here. You see, it's AIGU, which is the 7, which is 7 and 12. When GU come together, that's your 7 and 12. That's created by the numbers 4 and 3. You see, when you look at the roulette wheel, it's sets of 3 in a row and 4 rows. The first row and the last row will always repeat the same number. Aller manger, that's a big word. French accent, aigu, grave. French accents.
According to Columbia.edu, French accents, l'accent aigu, l'accent grave, l'accent circonflexe or chapeau, le serio.
Okay, accent grave. Okay, so it's so accent you can always look at as, and don't forget, this has to be for a child. You got to see the simple things, the logical things. The word accent, AC, air conditioning, 1 and 3, in which, look at the A, it's a built between Horace's I and the C of the hexagon, half of it, things are put together. But anyways, the egg. Where's your mother? Hello, your egg, right? Your father, your tongue, you know, that easy. That's the way I look at it. Right there, right? Or the pineal gland, your tongue, your father and your mother, your egghead, you know? Who are you? You think the sperm and the egg ever left? I don't think so. And the word egg is 577. The moon is 57. 77 is part of Christmas, which is 3 times 3 made from creation 11. Because at 11 that created 3. You don't have to go any further than ABC and 11 Fibonacci. And the woman is number 66. And freedom is number 66. And they told us, the insurance company says, and then the TV, it says, we've got freedom 55, come to us. You know, freedom 55. So freedom 55, like, that's like, hey, we're our retirement, right? Freedom 55. 5 times 5, 5 plus 5 is 35. We've reached the magical center. But if you reach the magical center of the 7th gate, you can go anywhere you want. So you flushed yourself out, 2, 5, and 8. You've reached the magical center. So we got these 2 accents now, and one crosses this way and the other crosses this way. Now we have to understand the artwork, and I sort of left the subject. I divided by 3s. I wanted to show you something before my son shows up. So when I look at 3s, when we do the same thing to 2, 5, and 8 times 3, it equals to 6, it equals to 15, it equals to 24. This is going to be 6, and this is going to be 6, and this is going to be 6. The letters are going to be F, O, X. There is an inversion to this when you use two cubes. When you only use one cube, this is what the equation is. So I call this the pull equation. I do have to change everything because once we move two cubes into it, things shift. Instead of it being just one pole, now I have two poles. So if I have one, I no longer have one. The minimum I have is two. So my 2, 5, and 8, and my 2, 5, and 8, right? And what is 4 and 4? 8. 1 and 1, 2. 7 and 7, 14. 1 and 4 is 5. So it just transfers over. It's perfect. The math is perfect with these things. They're absolutely perfect. They tell you everything. Plus some of the images added to gematria, right? When you add that to gematria, it's like we're, just sleeping there on the rocks, right there, sleeping there on the rocks, right here. There it is. Happy Canada, the way we've been divided. 77 over here, 13 and 13 over here, and over here is 1 and 1. 1 and 1, 13 and 13. The distance is 91 between them. 91. There are only 1, 2 areas. What is it? Oh, no, there's one center in the area. The next number up over here, the next cube that's going to happen, okay, is going to happen over here. It's going to cross this cube. The number 15 will cross over here. So the same thing happened here. You see where the 7th is over here? So it's crossing through the 7. And here the 15 is crossing over to the other side to create its new a different house over here. When you go to the game of pool, both the 7 and the 15 show a crossing over, giving its dynamics to the understanding. And why is the 8 ball the black ball? Because it is like as the 6 is the inverted cube. As the 6 is the inverted cube to the gateway of 8, 53, to what is this division of the gateway 8 and 6, 2 dice and a single dice, it would just be 4 and 3 to that gateway, in which you can call this 333. Actually, it's 3. Let me do it the way it's on the cube, okay? The way it's on the cube, right, is let me just do this here properly. The way it's on the cube is 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and then it's let me see, 3, 3, 3, 3. Hold on a second. I'm just trying to see something here. 3, 3, 3, 3. Hold on a second. 1, 1, 1, 1. See, so you had an illusion. You thought it was going that way, right? Wrong. It's going this way. So you know the 3 is vertical. And you know the 1 is horizontal. So I like to look at this whole thing as capitalization, to where my value of this is going to be the 22nd letter. The reverse is going to be the E. So we have 22, the 22nd letter. It'll create area space division of day and night. The V goes in with another house. It is in the house of D. So if it is in the house of D, then it means it's going to be 13 and 22. And the way to manufacture that, okay, is 7 plus 6 is 13. 7 times 6 is 42. This will create a straight. This one will go on to create what is 19, 7 and 12. Another thing that earlier on, if you were still here about 7 and 12, where was I about 7 and 12, is that if you multiply it, it equals to 84 Pluto. And it just keeps building. You can do anything you want, sure. So now I have two cubes of the same aspect. Okay, will now equal to 168 hours in our week of 7 days, where we run in rotation of 3, 1, 3. 1 times 1, 1 plus 1 is 1 and 2. So we keep going into 3, 1, 3. The same thing as Pluto. The same thing as the ring. This is 28, and then we're going to go. Then we're going to go 14. Let me do this properly. Let me do this properly. Right. These two will go together, and this one will go together. I shouldn't put this here. I put this in the wrong spot. 7, okay, and then 14 will go together. The thing is, here we hit our first moon, and then we end up with this, so we have a balance. We're at 42, so we start with 14, okay, and we have to end with 7 because it's 14 and 7 on the ring, on the cube. So here we start with 14, we get 56, and that's our second moon. So it's our second 57, and we had our first 57, so now we have 15. That would be Mars quarters. And then we have 63. And this is your first, this is your second, and this is your third. So we can see now that on our first cube, we have no moons. Our first moon shows up in Venus, right over here. That is our first casting moon. And then in the third one, there is no moon. And then when you reach the fourth cube, 7 and 14 equals to 70, 84. And here you have the third moon. So you have the standard moon cycle to Pluto. This is just what I mean for that. So this is also an expression of 168 hours in your week. And we can also work it off as 7 and 14. Which is talking back to the cube. Where do I get 7 and 14? 7 by 1, 7. 7 by 2, 14. That's how I end up doing that. I do it separately. Now, if I brought them together as 1 and 2 equals to 3, 7 times 3 is 21. And it gives you the answer. And that's your 21 blackjack. And that's why they service you at 777. Because that's exactly what it does. 7 and 3 do everything. Everything else is going to be in between. But then again, I can't say that because everything does everything. So anyways, we did that cycle over here. So I just want to go get something to drink again. I'm going to get back to why I wrote what I wrote, why it's so important right now, what's going on. I'd like to know from others, okay, because maybe I dreamed it or something. Didn't they say in history, somewhere in the Bible, there will be a mark of the beast? And if you watch everything that's going on, it's like, wow, what a coincidence. Those who are talking, all the talk out there is, I've seen this before. So then if everything was seen before in the past and it's coming true, then everything has been scripted. And if it is scripted, and for me, seeing that I can connect time with the Mayans to 25,920 so many times and then connect it back into a few words in the alphabet. It's just the word of time in just ABC. The word time is number 47. 47 times 123. 47 times 123 equals to the year 5781. Which equals to 1927, the number 19 and the number 27. I'll try and get onto that another time, 19 and 27. Now, the thing about 57 and 19 is that when I rebrand it, first of all, I took 5781 and I divided it by 3. I know the originator of 19 is 16. On the roulette wheel, the invert to 19 is 16. They are connected. a total of 35. The mathematics in star system math will turn 16 into 76. Just give me 1 second, okay? And then on level of 76, okay, it'll create 13. Then it'll create 34. And then it'll create 19. That in each one of the levels, the complete star math was done. This is a part life of this. This is 7 plus 6 equals to 13. Okay, we didn't do 7 times 6. Okay, because the complete inversion, let me just do this. The complete inversion of 76 is 55, and then it becomes 35. Again, this gets to be the center of the cube. This is first, this is second, this is third, and then after this, this is the fourth one. So this would be the 180 degrees. The reason I say 180 degrees, because of the obligation of the dice. If I would go 1, 2, 3 in order, I could not get to number 4. I could not get to number 4 because it's a 180 degree shift. Here, right, I went from here to here. Remember, if you're on one side, there's only 5 other sides, right? 4 that goes around. So where were we with this? So now when I do it this way, it creates 6 and 21. FUC. That's what it creates. FUC. This one will create 39. This is a representation of the minion. This one is a representation of this one over here. This is also a representation of Venus. 6, I always regarded 6 as the gateway to Mars and Earth, the spirit of 76. The reason for that is the numeric value for Earth is 5 and 2. Here in Roman numerals, we have a 5 and we have a 1 and a 1. Yes, we can put L1, but I did not. I can put L1. So if I put L1 and L2, I have 18 and I get 30. And if I put L1, I get 21. So the total between the two, I get 51 and back to Mars. Well, my son is here. I will be back in 1 hour. I'm ending the video. Let me just see what the question is. I'll be back in 45 minutes to an hour. Wait a second. I'm going to talk to you. 1 second. I don't want to just do it like that. I'm going to repost this video again, and I'm going to be back shortly. 45 minutes.